If Messi doesn't get on with you or link up with you well,
then
what are you
it's
going to
all
do? What are you
game
going to do?
over.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Q&A Extra where myself and Angelina take a deep dive into one of your questions from our YouTube community tab. Now, Angelina, there is a seriously long question here, but
Okay, I think I'm ready.
there's so many different points to it. I feel like we're going to work our way through what Ishan Misra has said about Barcelona at the moment. So, first off, Ishan said, as long as Messi is at Barcelona, the manager is forced to comply with his demands and can't demand any defensive or pressing responsibilities from Messi.
I can understand why this statement has been made, because, and I guess we've discussed it before, in that when you have these kind of players that are cemented into a team that are used to playing a certain way, I guess you could be forced to comply with, like demands. I don't think he's sat there banging his fists on a table like, I demand it. I mean, I don't know, maybe he is.
Maybe he is.
Who knows? But yeah, I think they have to, you have to accept that this is Messi, this is how he's going to play. You can maybe ask him to do A, B, C and D, but there's no guarantees that he will do it, because he could then turn around and say, all right, then if you want me to be more defensive, then I'm not going to be able to score as many goals. I'm getting older, I can't do it all.
Yeah.
So what do you want from me? Do you want me to be scoring the goals that we need, or do you want me to be defending?
I always feel like with someone like Messi, and I do watch him, and he does work hard, but a lot of times he's walking when it comes to defensive responsibility. I just feel like he leaves the team unbalanced when they defend.
Yeah.
And I think we've said it before, when Messi's, the right winger in a front three, he doesn't track back. So one of the midfielders gets pulled out to cover the right wing. Or when he's up front, it may not close the defenders down, or he may not be in the box, like Luis Suarez would. I feel like with Messi, you need to set the team up around him, or you're going to be unbalanced. And it's going to be very difficult for a new manager to come in. Maybe one who doesn't quite have the track record of walking in and saying, hey, I'm one of the greatest ever, a la Guardiola or whoever else. So no, I don't. I think you're right. I think it's very difficult for a manager like Setien Valverde to come in and say, right, Messi, forget everything you know. This is how we're doing it defensively.
Yeah.
So right. The next bit of we're gonna rattle through this comment. The next bit is saying the team will always have to be wide around him, and unless other attackers can form the kind of link up he has with Suarez and had with Neymar, they often struggle to succeed. I feel like we spoke about this a bit in our Q&A.
Yes.
The fact that he does have to have a link, or it's terrible.
As we've seen.
Yeah, I feel like the whole as we mentioned with the Q&A, Griezmann and Coutinho. If Messi doesn't get on with you or link up with you well,
then
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna
over.
do? If he was to move, do you think he'd have this same issue, or would he be back to Messi? I've still got to prove myself. Let's say he went to Manchester City.
See, again, I feel like, is he going to walk in and be like, oh, I know a few of these players, I know Guardiola, right, Pep, let's crack on, let's, start as we finished at Barcelona.
We're getting the old crew back together.
Yeah, where do you want me? I'll just carry on as normal. I feel like he would just be that, like, yeah, it's me, and I'm going to continue. I feel like, and this isn't anything to say about his character, I'm not saying like he's a bad person.
No, not at all.
To do something, but I think he's just like, this is my formula. This is how I work. I am of a certain age. I am not suddenly just going to start changing how I play. This is how I roll. This is how it's worked. Take it or leave it.
And I think we've seen that at Juventus as well. When Ronaldo says, I'm a left winger now, he's a left winger. And when he says I'm a striker,
okay,
he's a striker. And, any other team in the world would kill to be in the position to build a team around someone like Paulo Dybala. But Juve are having the problem that Dybala might not get into the team because there's a 35-year-old who's just says, nope, I'm striker. And you kind of got to listen to him.
And that's the thing with these players, is that if Messi and Ronaldo were still trying to call the shots and they were maybe aging pretty poorly in their game, then you can be like, all right, old man Messi, of course, you're the star, mate. You sit back. You'd be like, well, yeah, it's not really going to happen how you want, mate.
Yeah.
But because they are still able to prove themselves and be so great,
Exactly.
it's very hard to argue with it and be like, yeah, I know that you don't like to be, defensive, Messi, and, I understand that, you've scored all these goals and you've been great, but I still need you to be a bit defensive, even though I know that you don't want to do it, and I know that you're not necessarily, it's not your strong point.
Exactly. And if the manager says, you know what, I don't want to be defensive, I don't want to put any responsibility on Messi defensive-wise, then you've got to build the team in such a way that there isn't any responsibility on him. For me, the way I see that is Messi as a number 10.
Yeah, I agree.
And you've got two deep defensive midfielders behind him. You've got a left winger and a right winger who can track back, and you've got Messi linking up with a striker. That is the only position on the field that doesn't require
where it's kind of more
much.
Acceptable to not have a responsibility on you. I agree.
Next up, so we're moving on this monster paragraph that's been written. Considering all of this, and considering the fact he reportedly wants to leave this summer and the club has no money to spend, should Barca put Messi up for sale and sell him should they receive a good offer?
I can see why people might think this, because if you look at it, you think at the moment, Barcelona are in a little bit of a rut. They are, changing things up. Half the players are going to be out the door, maybe even more than half. They're going to be left without 3, and they're going to be building something new. So, for the sake of, let's say Messi's got, like, for argument's sake, another 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Are you going to build this new team still with him in mind and having to make these compromises and changes just for 3 more years of him? Or would you sell him, get a very, a very decent size of money in return, shall we say, and you can invest in good players that, they're not going to be as good as Messi. Yeah, your goal tally might not be as great, but you've got maybe a front 3 that are all contributing.
And they suit the team.
Yeah, so I think that, that's the thing. It's like, are you going to build this new team and you literally start from the bones and you build it up, a team that is going to be together for the next 6 seasons, maybe give or take a few coming in and out, or they can rebuild with Messi in mind, but then that's only going to be for a couple of seasons. Then he's going to leave and you're going to have to restart again in a way. So I can understand why people might think that, but at the same time, I personally don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's maybe there's been certain rumours, he's made certain statements, I think, to give certain people a kick up the backside.
Yeah.
I could not see him, maybe, the last, I couldn't ever see him moving to a team that could potentially be competing against Barcelona. Could I see him maybe moving back to Argentina for his final year, maybe, or maybe the MLS? Again, I can't really see it. I just see him retiring there. And I don't think after all the years of service and how much he loves that club that he would do them dirty.
Yeah.
And just be like, I'm going with Pep.
But you never know. You never know. If the board says, like, we're not going to back
being
you.
loyal to this club that aren't making me happy, so I'm off. See you later.
And maybe if the thing you said is super interesting about how they decide to build for the future, they're stuck in terms of replacing him. So do they, buy a player now who is going to learn from Messi, who won't expect much game time, who is eventually going to take over Messi in 3 years? Like you said, let's say he's got 3 years at the top. Someone like Ansu Fati, right? Very talented. Not experienced enough yet at 17 years old, but in a few years' time at 20 years old, may be able to take on not the complete Messi role, but, be another key player in the team. Or do they get rid of him and buy someone who's ready-made now for next season, someone like Paulo Dybala?
Yeah.
Because you can't have both. You can't say to Dybala, who's, I think, 26, potentially. You can't say to him, you're going to have to fight with Messi. Obviously, a fight he's going to lose in the team. And then you'll be good. Then you'll be good to take over the mantle in 3 years' time when Messi finally leaves.
It's like, come to our club, but you're probably going to be in a similar predicament as like Griezmann, etc.
Exactly.
For 3 more seasons. But then
Until
you'll
Messi
be
leaves.
Time, mate. Then you'll be number 1. It's like, why am I going to waste 3 seasons?
Yeah.
not getting the game time that I could get if I went somewhere else.
I think this is the kind of the issue that Lautaro Martinez is facing with the switch from Inter Milan. He probably wants assurances that he's going to be the starting striker. He's not leaving Inter Milan to sit on the bench behind Suarez. I mean, funnily enough, apparently Suarez is up for sale and it looks like a move to Ajax could be on the cards.
Yeah.
If there is a spot open like that, Griezmann will probably fill it from within the squad. But Barca either need to buy players who are ready now to fit into the squad and there is an opening, or they buy youngsters who can develop, a lot like Real Madrid are doing, especially with their young attacking trio, who are ready in a few years. But yeah, I guess that's the issue they face with Messi. The rest of the comments said, I'm not saying they'll be better without him in the side. Again, true. It's very difficult to say that a team will be definitely better without one of the world's best players at the side. But they are likely to anything in the next 3 years or so.
Messi or not.
You don't know, yeah. Messi or not. Maybe it could be best for all parties if Messi were to move on and Barcelona can get some money for him and get his wages off the books and fix up the club in the long term. What do you think? Well, we have said what we think, Ishan, and thank you so much for that enormous question. Some really interesting topics there. You guys let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Do Barcelona keep Messi or do they sell him, and why? That's the important bit. Let us know the why.
Who do they bring in?
Yes, as well. Who do they bring in? Funnily enough, we've got a couple of ideas about who they can bring in, so you can check out the video right here. Yeah, and we've done a quick video on who could potentially replace Lionel Messi, both now and in a few years in the future as well. But yeah, thank you so much, as always, for the Q&A extras and the regular Q&A questions, which you can submit to us every Wednesday night in the YouTube community tab. Yeah, check out the other stuff we've got going on Onefootball as well. Smash the like button from myself and Angelina. We will see you guys next time.